What is going on, champs? It is your boy Sultan. Welcome faces back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'll be showing you how to land more shots with the Peacekeeper to deal more consistent damage. Thank you for joining me, and let's get into the video. The Peacekeeper can be one of the most irritating weapons to use in Apex Legends, mostly due to the fact that some shots can land for only 24, while other times it can be one of the hardest hitting close range weapons. So today I'll be showing you how to land more consistent shots with the Peacekeeper. As per usual, if you're new to the channel, here you'll find some of the best tips and tricks to make you an even better player. So consider subscribing. Now let's get into how you can dominate with the Peacekeeper. This shotgun, if used correctly, can have a big payout in some clutch close range situations. So hopefully after watching the entire video, you can get an idea of how to maul players with it. So hopping right into the first step I have, which is pre-aim while moving. Now obviously you don't want to pre-aim the entire time, but connecting shots while ADSing is much more efficient to get those higher damage shots. So the best way to go about aiming down sights with the Peacekeeper is when you know the general location of enemies. A good example is whenever entering doorways or corners. Always make sure you are pre-aimed before peeking. Now the Peacekeeper gives a lot of mobility when ADSing, and it's a very similar feeling like having a stock attachment on a Call of Duty weapon. Or if you have used the wingman, your ADS movement speed feels very similar to that as well. Keeping that in mind, you also don't have to be worried about being a stiff and still target when you're aiming down sights. Now the reason I can't stress enough to make sure you ADS as much as possible is because this keeps the spread of the shot much closer together, hence dealing more damage per shot. Another benefit from ADSing more often is being able to have the first shot on the enemy, which can be crucial in a lot of situations. So be sure you are taking advantage of this whenever you can. Alright champions, hopping straight into the second tip, which is being able to keep the precision choke charged the entire time before shooting. If you guys didn't know, to charge up your precision choke, you have to ADS for about 3 seconds. But many players don't know that you can keep it charged for a few seconds after you stop aiming down sights. This can help in a lot of situations when you're trying to close the gap on an enemy and they don't happen to be in the spot you expected them to be in. Instead of letting the choke fully reset, you can run for a couple steps, but then make sure to ADS when you feel the choke is starting to reset to keep it activated again. Now this definitely can take some time to getting used to, but when you can master this, this will make your first shot completely charged even when you don't expect an enemy. On top of which, you can actually hip fire when the choke is fully charged, which can help when trying to snap on an enemy that's shooting you from an angle other than what you are looking at. This should realistically be the best time to hip fire with the Peacekeeper, but I know it's sometimes hard to resist hip firing when you have an enemy one shot. So try and avoid hip firing without a charged up choke unless you desperately need to. With that being said, let's get straight into the third tip, which is to take cover after firing each shot. This will help you avoid taking damage when using the Peacekeeper during close range battles. Now not every gunfight will there be something to use as cover, which is when you really have to hit almost all of your shots with the Peacekeeper. So if you do happen to be in a situation where there is no cover around you, the best way to avoid damage is by jumping and or sliding when you are waiting for your next shot to be ready. Make sure you are always moving around and never give the enemy an easy shot on you, especially when you have the Peacekeeper in your hands where it can take a second or two to get the next shot off. But if you are in an area where there are multiple objects to use as cover, the faster you can peek and shoot, the less damage they can deal towards your overall health. So be sure to always take cover after each shot to get the most benefit out of this strategy. Okay champs, now let's get into the fourth tip, which is to always aim for the upper chest. Now this should be a given, but the goal to deal the most damage per shot with the Peacekeeper is trying to center your aim exactly in the middle of the enemy's upper chest, where generally the hitbox is much easier to connect with. Plus, centering your shot in the dead middle of the opponent is the best way to avoid those low damage shots that can be very irritating. I would rather take my time to focus on hitting a dead center shot than land a leg shot that only connects for about 24 damage. Yes, you will probably take a little more damage when positioning your aim, but the payoff will be much better in terms of the damage trade-off. With that said, there's many ways to aim while using the Peacekeeper. So that brings me right into my fifth and final tip, which is flick aiming to an enemy. The way to land more shots without taking as much damage is by getting good at timing your analog flick to the center of an enemy. This feeling is very similar to the wingman aim flicking to land shots. Now these analog flicks should be done after landing the initial charged up choke shot, which tends to deal the most damage. After landing the first charged up shot, sometimes you don't have enough time to try and recharge the precision choke. So make sure you still aim down sights, but you really want to focus on having a quick snapshot when the Peacekeeper is not charged. This will definitely take some time to getting used to, but when mastered, you will start to see yourself dominating more gunfights with this weapon. That is going to wrap up today's video. If you watched till this point of the video, thank you for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like rating. It is always appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, here find some of the best tips and tricks to make you an even better player. So consider subscribing. Also, champions, I won't be continuing the comment shoutouts since it does seem a little outdated, and I've been paying attention to the feedback on how it extends the intro. I will still be looking at every comment I get on my videos, so don't worry. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the video and or ideas for future videos. Also, the recent support on the channel has been absolutely mind-blowing. We've literally doubled the subscriber count in under 2 months. Thank you doesn't even feel like it's enough. Seriously guys, I appreciate everyone who's dedicated to the channel and watched all the videos. I do have a couple surprises when we hit 10,000 subscribers, so stay tuned. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, this has been your boy Sultan. I'm signing off. Peace.